I'm super excited to show you what I built this week. Let's say I want to build an AI agent that can reply to my X posts or maybe my emails. Look at this example. We have the same post and I'm using the same AI model, Claude in my case, and replying to the same post and writing both of them. Read the first one. It is generic and this is what makes AI slop. Now the second one, 16 seconds of downtime twice a year, $700 a month. That's my voice, my data, my numbers from my own servers, my own experience. So we have the same model, same prompt, same post, but we have one big difference. And this difference changes the whole game when you work with AI. It is simply that the second one is connected to my brain. Yes, my brain. No, not this way. Let me show you how. So you can connect your own brain to AI and this will completely change how you work with AI. And what you just saw is a very basic example on using the brain. What you will see in this video is going to shock you. No, not this way also. So if you are ready to get shocked, if you are ready, let's get started. Okay, let me start with another small example. While I was testing this project, while I'm building it, I asked for a reply. My brain, my AI brain, sent me a warning. It said, do not invent this number, which is how much time maintenance takes. Something in one of my projects. That number was not there, was not in my brain, and was not accurate. Read that again. My brain told the AI model what is not allowed to make up. Everyone is worried about AI hallucinating when writing in your voice. This project does the opposite. Okay, enough talking. So what did I build? I think you know now, it's like an AI brain, but let's explain it. In simple terms, it is a copy of my brain. I called it BrainOutside. As the name means, it's my brain outside. It knows how I write, it knows what I believe, my philosophy, my projects, what I do, just everything about me. It's my clone. And some people call it second brain. Maybe you heard about it, maybe you used one, but what you will see today is something really different. So think about it like my mirror outside. I can ask it and it simply answers like me, which is useful most of the days and sometimes becomes strange and somehow shocking, as you will see in the video in a few minutes. Like sometimes I disagree with its answers, which is myself. That's really weird. I believe that every human being working with AI should have this brain configured. And the idea is really simple. The brain is simply a folder with markdown files, text files, inside a Git repo. So your brain is actually, in our case, a GitHub repo and simply some text files. Who you are, how you write, your projects, your takes, your stories, the lessons, your education, everything about you inside this private GitHub repo. That folder, that GitHub repo, your external brain has two heads. The first head is local, so you can deploy and run locally, privately on your own computer. The second head is online. So what I did is I built also a layer that you can publish your brain online, as you will see in a few seconds, and it's free and open source and self-hosted, so it's fully private too. And what makes it so powerful, this online brain can be accessed with both MCP and API endpoints. So you can connect with any AI agent you want. So we have the same repo, same files, the same brain. You can access locally or online from anywhere. Okay, enough theory. Let's get into work and build our first brain locally. And it's way easier than you think. You just open the template repo I built for you, click use this template and make it private. That's your brain. Now open it in VS Code. That's the interface. Inside there, are two skills, and that's the whole thing. The mind feeder writes and the mind reader reads. It's that simple. Watch what feeding looks like. I'll paste in something, let's say a video transcript I created, a post, a doc, or just a thought I had in the car. And here's the part that really matters. It doesn't just save it. It reads it, it decides what's worth keeping, then it shows me a proposal with the exact code it wants to preserve in my words. Then it stops and waits for my approval. When I approve, it writes and it's one git commit. This is how it works locally. Why so strict? Because in simple words, a brain you don't trust is a brain you will not use. Let's move into reading. Mind reader pulls what's relevant to the task, not everything it has. Ask it for a reply about self-hosting. It brings the cause story, the downtime number, and my voice. It leaves like the other notes alone. And this is very important for context limit and context window and hallucinations. And of course for accurate results. Okay, that's the local version. It's finished. And honestly, you can stop right here if you want the brain to be inside VS Code running locally on your machine. That's fine. It's only on your machine. Let's now give it a door and allow it to connect with any app you want. And here, where the real magic begins. Remember the shot? It starts here. Okay, since this project is open source, free and self-hosted, you will need to host it somewhere. In my case now, with a quick demo, I will pick a VPS. Any provider you want, I go with Contabo. I'll pick the cheapest VPS, it's more than enough. And now simply I'll install Coolify. It's one command, just connect to the server with SSH client, paste it, and let it run for a few minutes. You can see now Coolify running on my server. Now you can self-host anything you want. And this is exactly, by the way, how I save more than $700 per month hosting all my projects and services on my own server. If you want to learn more about this and how I do it, check the link in the description below. But for now, it's out of scope. Let's continue our work. Click New Project, then New Resource, select Public Repo, paste the URL, and set the build pack to Docker Compose. That's it. Save. Go now to environmental variables, and here you write exactly two things: database password and the domain. That's the whole thing, and click Deploy. Wait for a few seconds, and then open your domain in the browser. The first time, you don't get a login box, you get a wizard. I tried my best to make things as simple as possible, so anyone can build this and use it. So number one, create the account, then create your brain, give it a name, set to private, create, then the server will read it, paste the public SSH key into GitHub, hit verify, and builds a real clone. Now, let it write back. The key you just added is read-only, but what we need is to approve something. We need to write to our brain. The server has to push to GitHub, so it needs permission to write. The app gives you a link straight to the token page. Just click it, go to fine-grained tokens, generate new token, select access to the repositories, which is your brain repo, then permissions, contents, read and write. That's the only you need. Generate, copy it, and then paste it back here and you are done. Now, step number 5, connect Claude, add your key, number 6, build, and that's it. Your brain now is online. I know I went quickly here because I want to focus on what is coming next. But don't worry, I created a full guide, step by step, in detail on how to create your brain online and locally, and it's free guide linked below. So don't worry about the configuration, you can follow up in the guide. Now the part I actually love. Watch what happens when I add something from my computer. I feed a note locally, I approve it, it commits, and I push. GitHub fires a webhook, notifying the server, and the server pulls the updates. It re-indexes. The note now is live on the online brain. And this works too in the other direction. So we have the same repo, both directions, the local and the online brain are like in sync. Actually, there is no syncing. We have one source and two doors. Now let me take you through a quick tour. Then we get to the exciting part. We have the dashboard. The rings are your brain by kind, identity, projects, knowledge. The browser, every node, filterable. It is just the markdown files, but rendered. We have the graph, what links to what. My code story and my downtime take both point at self-hosting. So when I ask about self-hosting, both show up. We have the queue, everything an agent wants to write, waiting on me. Nothing gets in behind my back. And then we have the consumers, who is reading my brain, creating the MCP, API keys, and so on. And we have the chat. This is me talking to me. And here things become really strange. You had me saying MCP and API, and it's one of the main reasons behind me building this project. I simply connect Claude once to the MCP server running inside my brain, and that's it. Claude can now read my brain. Literally, that's the feature. Watch this. Get index, that's everything my brain holds. One line each. Assemble context, this is the good one. I hand it a task and goes and builds a pack for that exact task. The right notes, the real codes, and the gaps. Remember the reply from the beginning of the video? That's the call that made it. Okay, back to where we started. On a daily basis, I use this brain actually for replying, for emails, newsletter, a video description, anything I have to write as me. And when it doesn't know something, it says so instead of hallucinating and filling the gaps. Of course, I still edit and review. Think about like a drafter, not a ghostwriter. But the idea, it starts from me instead from nothing. But wait, it's not only for content. If you are writing a book, a novel, doing a research, your brain holds your position, your beliefs and your examples across whole pages. So chapter 9 doesn't contradict with chapter 1. If you are building a course, it holds how you explain things. If you are just building anything with AI, it holds your decisions that you already made. So you stop re-explaining everything again and again with every new session or project. So here's the rule, and that's the whole point of the video. Task your brain to simply everything. Every agent, every session, every tool you work in. Read always and feed always. Read before it writes, so it has you, and feed it after you learn something, so it keeps you. That's the loop. Run it for like 1 month, or maybe less, and you have something nobody can copy, because nobody else has your last month. Now, take a breath, or drink some water, because what you'll see now is really shocking. Today, this project, the brain, is some text files. It can write like you. But what if you add a voice? Any voice. Your brain can talk. Now, let's make the voice a voice clone of me, or your brain, or you. And now you can call your brain or have a voice chat with yourself, with your own voice. Think about it. Level up, add a photo with some audio waves, and things become really interesting. Now, my face moving with lip sync, that's me talking, my clone, saying things I never said, that I would have said. And then, eventually, this. Same voice, same takes, same opinions, same beliefs. That's me, the iRobot version, maybe without the spiritual side. Looks scary, huh? Okay, none of that is built right now. Everything I showed you at the end was simulated, but the brain underneath, the folder underneath, the project underneath is real. And it's the same project and the same folder powering all the simulated versions that could be real one day. Okay, the project is free, it's open source, it's linked below with the full guide, and I think everyone should go now and set up his clone, his brain. Not because it's something really special about it, because the AI models are the same. Everyone has access to Claude or Gemini or whatever. The tools are free, the models are cheap. The only unique thing left is you. And right now, that's sitting in your head, where nothing can read it. Put it outside, and maybe in the near future, you will have your humanoid clone. Hit like if this was useful, and don't forget to start a project on GitHub. And if you have any suggestions, any ideas, I read every comment. See you in the upcoming videos.